My article was about false water cobras, and they were trying to shift their behavior. So, to give a little background, the cognitive abilities of reptiles and amphibians have traditionally been overlooked, but reptiles can benefit from positive reinforcement techniques and can learn through operant conditioning. Specifically, there's very limited documented literature on snakes, but the few that are documented were focused on operant conditioning. And so false water cobras were trained to follow a target out of their primary enclosure and into a shift container. Um, the purpose, or they did this because they wanted to develop an effective plan for targeting and shifting false water cobras to increase safety and reduce management stress for animals and keepers. And overall, the purpose is to improve safety, reduction in animal stress, and increase choice and control for the animals. For the methods, they used 28 hatchlings from 4 clutches. 21 individuals had prior training experience in the past, and 7 were randomly chosen from each clutch. The oldest and youngest clutches had the same set of parents, while the other clutches had a unique parent matchings. Um, and so pretty much they were off for rodents twice a week before and during training sessions. And sometimes they were giving quail as uh, another reinforcement. And they came up with a shaping plan development, and they uh, looked back on like the historical behaviors of these snakes, but they really focused on diet, feeding frequency, and colors that they perceived. And so this type of snake um, eats a lot in the wild. So they use diet and feeding frequencies to determine the training schedule, and a target color was chosen based off of what they could perceive, which was blue and green. And so then they moved on to positive reinforcement training, and they were training for twice a week for a total of 8 sessions. And so a blue ball was put on a stick and used to train the youngest clutch, while a green ball on a stick was used on the rest of the previously trained group. And they also recorded yellow and red behaviors. And yellow behaviors were less severe, more mellow. So like an example is like freezing and hooding, versus red behavior was more severe, and that was biting and escaping. So the results, this is the response latency. The oldest 3 clutches had an average response latency of 38.75. There's a slight increase as training progressed, but it wasn't significant enough. They all performed all the behaviors that was described in the plan, and there was a decreased response latency over the 51 sessions observed from clutch 4. For stress behaviors, there was a slight decrease in yellow zone behaviors for the oldest 3 clutches. That wasn't significant. Hooding was the most common yellow zone behavior displayed. The oldest 3 and the fourth clutch displayed a decrease in red zone behaviors. Um, and so that wasn't significant for the oldest 3, but it was significant for the fourth clutch. And with the exception of the youngest and oldest clutch, each had different model red zone behaviors. So clutch 1 and 2 hid when experiencing stress, while clutch 3 did a lot of body flattening, and clutch 2 was the only clutch that attempted to bite the trainer. And then training step completion. Pretty much only clutch 4 completed everything. So first step was classical conditioning. That was 9.2 seconds. Second step was targeting within their enclosure, and they learned that pretty quickly with 4.2 seconds. The third was targeting out of enclosures which was 4 seconds. And then the fourth step was targeting to the shift container. And that took the most time with 11.8 seconds. And then the fifth and final step was returning to their enclosure, which took 5.5 seconds. In conclusion, all individuals in Clutch 4 completed the goal behavior. There was also in Clutch 4 a decrease in severe stress behavior, which is good, which means this plan is feasible and effective for shaping behavior. Response by clutches with prior training experiences were slower. They were still like doing the behavior, but it was just a lot slower. So they thought special accommodations may be needed to avoid behavioral fallouts. And then the targeting and shifting behaviors trained in this study are foundational skills for more advanced behaviors that can be trained in the future. And positive reinforcement is a powerful tool that can benefit the keepers and the animals. And the benefits, again, was giving animals choices, control over the routine procedures, reduce stress, improve safety, and enhanced animal well-being.